from within. So this art, this is not fabricated music, So therefore, it's not like printed in a factory and then it's like tour album. This is real music. So for art, and basically, it takes time to make this type of music because it's very sophisticated, both musically, lyrically, and everything. We did tour up until 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Last album came out in 2010, if I remember. And then when we are on the road and on tour, it's very hard to focus on other stuff than actually the live role, because it acquires so much of you. So therefore, there we have 4 years, touring and doing festivals, tours and shows. After that, we needed to take a little break to reflect a little bit, think, and regain some energy. And we changed a lot of our working partners, management, and we had to renegotiate our record deal. And then we also focused on doing work a little bit more with our side projects separately. Take some time from each other. It was good. And we had 3 more children has been born as well. Mix of family life and music. We basically have a lot of other obligations in life, And it was, I think, approximately 3 years ago we went on and then we sit down, we made food together, we drink wine, listening to music, and just, get to know each other. And then, we decided, okay, let's shake hands, move forward, try not to repeat some of the mistakes we've done in the past, do something better, and decide to move forward with a new, basically, almost 3 years in the making from start to finish. When we are in a creative process of working with Dimmu songs, this is very intense, It's like 4 days a week or 5 days a week, day and night, in our own studio, working on the song structures, and it is quite intense, and it's important to kind of, shut off the world around you a little bit and just focus. We did it in a very, very detailed way. Which means that the outcome is to ourselves we are very happy with the result of this new record, and that's because we took the time with no deadline. It's about the illusion of time, and you dive into the metaphysical realms, which is endless, diving into new dimensions and exploring. It's about the darkness within, and a lot of different things, but I don't want to go deep into the subject. People to discover these things, because it's not like art is hard to explain, because you should, from my perspective, you should not dissect art and ask questions, too much, because you should make up your own. What is this to you? In the sense that if you compare it with an artist or a painting, you don't ask a painter why he did this, did he use that color. It's like an expression. So this but if you dig into this subject, you will find a lot of interesting facts that, for example, time itself time doesn't exist. It's only here and now. If you dig deep into the subject, because time is man-made. But if you dig into it, there is no time. Some of the stuff that the lyrical content for this, focusing more on lyrical parts, focus a bit more on the structures and building the songs. And then we complement each other in that sense. Throughout these 25 years, I do a lot of different. I make orchestral arrangements. I play keyboard. I play bass on the new record as well. Certain parts, I do vocals, and that's always been to run back and forth to different things has always been normal in this band. Drums on the first album, and back to guitar, and whatever worked actually, because there was like, okay, we need to pick a song, and they need to have it way in advance before we get. It's a lot of things, and it was hard to pick out one song, because we like them all, and this specific song do not represent the album. This is just one small part of the big puzzle. So I think people should be very careful to judge that, I'm not gonna like this album, blah, 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 just wait till we hear the whole album. It's important for us to distance ourselves from people's opinions. We have a lot of faith in what we're doing. We're confident, more than ever, in the way that we need to express our music the way we want it, Interdimensional Summit is a little bit more stripped down, easy song. It is very melodic, but it's also very majestic, big, grand, and simplistic song structure, ground, so to speak, with a dash of choir on top of it. But it's important. This song specifically was actually, some of the ideas for this song was written back in 2012. I kind of picked it back and refreshed it a little bit and did some changes and stuff. But that song specifically is important for me to tell that it does not represent the whole record. But we really like the song. It has a lot of elements the band are known for, symphonic, and it's atmospheric, simple song. So it's, it's not like a typical Dimmu Borgir song, but it has a lot of elements the band are known for. We can't expect everyone to like it. That's your own choice. But if you still see the amount of likes, for example, YouTube, there is over 20,000 thumbs up. Regarding opinions, I cannot relate to it, and I don't read it because can't pay attention to what everybody has to say. Everyone is an expert. What I want to add to this is that if you have to go online and write negatively about something, if it's music or anything else, whatever, it's like it tells me more about you as a person in the way that what can I say? If you have to talk negatively about everything, it's like it tells me that you have bad manners and are grown up with bad parenting. But when I grew up, I used to go to the record store and buy a lot of albums, and sometimes the albums was not perfect, but I don't scream loud that they took the effort to do something. That's important, that we don't owe anything to anybody. How this has turned into is like one feather becomes one chicken, because Zbigniew, the engineer of this record, he has several different people that he works with, communicating, doing certain things. And this guy specifically is also a guy that do a lot of stuff for Zbigniew. So what we ended up with, we had all the pre-production files, sampling libraries, all these layers of things, on the keyboard, whatever. It was certain thing that he was not 100% happy with when it comes to moving it to the right grid or to add certain things, whatever. So he did some communication stuff to fix certain elements and parts. We were not even there. But all the music, every sound and all this stuff is done by us. We have like a shamanic type of voice, a throat singer on the track number 4 called The Council of Wolves and Snakes. This song specifically represents kind of a shamanic type of feel to it, with the percussion drums and all this type of things. So we had it's also, I think this album has a lot of details and it represents, it sums up the band throughout the whole history. If you look back at all the areas for Dimmu Borgir, you can find certain elements and sounds and riffs and which you can link back to a lot of the previous records we have done. This is a celebration of the 25th and also to the kind of a tribute to the Norwegian black metal history also. Stuff that a lot of bands did in the early 90s, which we have done on this record. Adding certain sounds that you can kind of link together with certain releases. And you will notice this if you know the history of Dimmu Borgir and also the history of Norwegian black. Next generation will have their take on this music and evolve it into a new direction. So But it's at least a genre that, you know, it's authentic music, so it has survived now for close to 3, and so this, yes, serious form of music, and it's going to be interesting to see further what other bands, new bands. The problem is that the amount of bands today is insane in the fact that I try to keep up what's going on with bands, but it's really hard because there's so many. But anyway, there is still a lot of great new acts out, which we gave to Bielak, and then he developed into something of his own. The hourglass is representing the alpha and omega, you know. And, also you can see the eternity symbol, eonian, everlasting. So it has a lot to do with the content of. I will not share my beliefs. We use certain symbolism to enhance a certain vibe and feeling, which is to us important. When it comes to personal beliefs, I have today no interest in sharing my thoughts on any of these types of subjects. You have to be careful about certain things in the way that certain symbolism can also kind of reflect something that can be negative to you is maybe positive to me. So at this age now, I don't have any urge to kind of tell my thoughts about these certain things, but what I can tell is I express myself through music. That's where I talk. So that's what I can say, is that you listen to the music I make, and this is my way of musically, or so I think that's a better way of this expression, which is important, and also the overall thing. So what we do is important, and we take it seriously. Agra is the white area. On this new record, it was important to use more ritualistic colors, which is black, red, and gold. So that was part of the important theme. And yeah, of course, new costumes, new look, new album, different time. For Dimmu Borgir, very important, you know, because it needs to match the music gives you. It needs to be complement each other. Not for every band, but for us it's important. And I guess also some of this comes from early age, when you grow up, and I was always more interested in bands that had a strong image, you know.
Like Kiss.
For example, but then you kind of take that inspiration, but you carve it into your own expression, you know, after a while. So it very complete when we did the release of the Forces of the Northern Night, because we've been working with orchestra for so many albums and things, and it felt like complete, and it's like a closure, and closing an area, so to speak. So on this new record there's also orchestral elements in the music, but it's done by sampling effects and keyboards instead. We felt that we didn't want to include orchestra on this new record. But we never know, maybe we'll work with the orchestra. It was more important to add choirs into this new record to make that filmatic. So the choir has a